And good evening, everybody, and welcome here to race number 4 of the PCSRA Winston Cup Series debut seasons. We're getting set for tonight's race, the South Boston 350. If it was anything like our Truck Series race last night, we're in for a very interesting 51 laps of racing. S Ard starts on the pole position. Comes in this race 23rd in the points table after a struggling race last week. Alongside of him is the 43 of Melissa Cooper. Melissa Cooper comes into this race 4th in the points table. T Wright in row number 2, 18th in the points table, and alongside of her is Courtney Lynn. Last week's winner jumped all the way up to 9th in the standings. Margaret Jacobs is the points leader by 10 points over Jacob TwoTwo. Annie Thomas, former winner this season, 14 points back in 3rd. 15 back is Melissa Cooper, is 4th in the standings. Then it's J Bouvier 5th, 16 points back. Tied for 6th is E Aurora and Crenshaw, 19 points back. Maddie Crenshaw is 23 back in 8th. Courtney Lynn is tied with Brad Lewis for 9th, but the kicker is Courtney Lynn has been to victory lane, whereas Brad Lewis has not. As the 40-car field now rolls up behind the pace car. Following the race at Phoenix, a couple of drivers were slapped with fines and all that. Cody Smart, Zachary Taylor, each were fined $25,000, and Annie Winters was fined $25,000 for the incident last week where she had some choice words of Monica Towns, who was fined $50,000. As we're green here at South Boston, that was for the incident that happened last week, and of course Cody and Taylor were fined $25,000 for their insults towards one another after last week's race at Phoenix. Monica Towns was also placed on probation for her for running in the back of Annie Winters after the race or during the race at Phoenix. As Tatum Wright just took the lead from S Ard, not and don't look too now because here comes Annie Crenshaw there. S Ard has fallen from 1st to 3rd and still stuck up on the high side, about to lose that spot to Cody Smart, who ended up paying his $25,000 along with Zachary Taylor. Annie Winters also had to pay $25,000 for her comments about Monica Towns, and Monica Towns was fined $50,000, placed on probation for the next 3 races, which includes tonight's race. So Monica is going to have to be extremely careful here tonight. So the officials will be keeping a very close eye on that Dodge Dealers UAW number 19 Dodge for Everham Motorsports. Right now, all three of our winners who have won this season are inside the top 30 in the points table, and they have their wins count for a spot into the playoffs. Margaret Jacobs, who is the points leader, has not been to victory lane this season, as everyone has taken the green flag. Margaret Jacobs is 6th. The guy who's trying to run her down for the points lead, Jacob TwoTwo, he is all the way back in 34th, comes in this race 2nd in points. So a couple of drivers who come in running well in points, not having the results they're having. And Sean has went from pole to outside the top 15 and still can't even get to the bottom of the racetrack. There he is, as he's still free falling through the standings. We have 3 wide there with Evelyn, Knight, and also, or no, that's Erickson, sorry, and Mia Watts. And poor Sean is not getting any breaks. He is stuck up on that high side. He can't even get to the bottom of the racetrack. Zachary Taylor may cut him a break, I think. Yep, Taylor cut him a break. Wow, dropped him all the way to 18th. But Zachary Taylor, fellow Triple P clan, said, Sean, I'm going to cut you a break. So we'll see if Sean can get back up through the result through the running order, because like I said, he went from first to 17th just like that. So, and with him on that inside line, that will help him go ahead and move forward. Tatum Wright is one of the drivers tied for that 16th, that critical 16th position in the points. Annie Winters, with her poor result, dropped 19 or 13 spots rather to 19th in the points. She's now a total of 2 points below the cut line. J TwoTwo, who is second in points, is 24 points above the cut line. Melissa Cooper, 19 above the cut line. 18 above is Bouvier. Aurora Crenshaw, Annie Crenshaw, 15 above. Maddie is 11 above. Brad Lewis, 8 above. Betty Johnson, 4 above. Michael Anderson, 3 above. 2 above are Brooklyn Carter and Hannah Smith, and Luke Knight, Samantha Granger, Tatum Wright are tied for that 16th spot in points. Annie Winters is 2 points below the cut line, and Betty Barrett currently 4 points below the cut line. That is currently your playoff grid, by the way, going into this race. And now Sean is starting to gain all those spots that he lost at the start of the race. Tatum Wright, if she goes to victory lane here today, she will be locked into the playoffs, providing she can stay in the top 30 in the points table. That's critical for that zero team out of Haas CNC Racing. Right now, she's trying to hold off Cody Smart in the 12. Cody Smart is 33rd in the points table, has run race number 4. Cody is a total of 8 points back to 30th in the standings. That would be Riley Anderson. So it's really important for, Cody Smart to turn what has been a struggling start to the year around. As Cody's starting to run up the racetrack. Brad Lewis back here at the rear of the field. That's a driver who comes in this race 10th in the points. And Annie Winters, I just talked about, 2 points below the cut line. This is not where she needs to be, as we're past the halfway point of this race. Around this time last night, we had our first and only caution in the truck race. So looks like the Winston Cup drivers are keeping it together. Excuse me. Sorry for the yawn. Tatum Wright, who graduated from college. She is the older sister to Ashton Wright, who will be in the truck series, in the PCSRA Craftsman Truck Series next season. We're coming to 20 laps to go. Tatum Wright, born from Tampa, Florida. So if you think we don't have a driver from the state of Florida, you better think again. Tampa, Florida is where Tatum Wright was born. Spent most of her life in Colorado Springs, North Dakota, St. Louis, and now uh, did college in Shippensburg University. That is a school in Pennsylvania. From currently living in Maryland or Kentucky or Ohio, you get the picture. Really proud of what Tatum has done so far as an adult. Can't wait to see what her sister Ashton can do next season in the Craftsman Truck Series. We talked about Shayla Askarov, who won the truck race last night, led every lap so far. Well, Tatum Wright has led every lap so far ever since she took the lead from Senor Sean. And so far, Sean is still in the 15th position. Seeing a lot of drivers running well in points near the bottom of the list, near the rear of the field. This is going to be not good news for them. Annie Thomas, 26. Came in race third in the points. Zachary Taylor running in 14th. And Courtney Lynn's running in 37th. As we've hit 10 laps of racing to go. The only repeat winner we have so far out of the 3 series is Azara Mirmoez, who won the first 2 races to start the year. And you will see Azara Mirmoez and the other 37 drivers of the Busch Series next week when we head to the Darlington Raceway, which will have all 3 series back in action. And looking like the 8 car of Margaret Jacobs is going to keep the points lead heading into next week at Darlington, as they're 3 wide in front of Tatum Wright. So Tatum's going to have to be a little bit careful. The problem is Cody Smart is hounding her in a hurry. And don't look behind. Here comes Monica Towns in the 19 car. After getting a good stiff talking to by Zachary Taylor after Monica Towns ran in the back of Annie Winters at Phoenix last week. Monica knows better than that, and that's definitely a driver who definitely should know better than that than running in the back of people. As Cody Smart's going to have to find somehow, some way to get around the Net Zero Pontiac. The problem is he's boxed in between trying to pass on the inside and passing on the outside. So he's going to have to stay with Tatum Wright as they're going to get through traffic, and that has also brought Monica Towns into the mix as we're coming to 3 to go here. Tatum's going to have to be extremely careful. And the last thing Cody Smart needs to do is do something stupid to Tatum Wright, which is, quote, commit female abuse. As we're nearing 2 laps of racing to go here at South Boston. And this is going to hopefully help Cody Smart. Oh, Cody's on the inside of Tatum as we're coming to the white flag. 1 more lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Tatum Wright led every lap. Cody Smart is going to go by Tatum Wright. And off of turn number 4, a last lap pass puts Cody Smart in the victory lane. What a tough break for Tatum Wright, who led every lap until the last one. And she'll have to settle for second. And has Cody Smart got himself into the top 30 in points, which he does? Has he done enough to get him in the top 30 in the points to have this win count for a spot into the playoffs? Tatum Wright, as I said, will have to settle for second as the standings are indeed official. Monica Towns had a clean race tonight, comes away with third. Annie Crenshaw comes away with fourth, so she put both of the Penske cars in the top 10, but she is so far ahead of Cody Smart in the points, 7 to be exact. She will remain in the top 10 in the points. Todd Montgomery comes away with fifth. Tom Montgomery came in this race 35th in the points table, so this is a well-needed run for a former Buffalo Wild Wings Series champion. Margaret Jacobs will get 6th. She will retain the points lead heading into next week at Darlington because the guy that was trying to run her down finished in 14th. That was J TwoTwo, came as very second in points, but still a good result for him. Luke Knight will come away with 7th. Luke came into this race needing a bounce back, dropped down to 16th in the points. He will stay in the top 16 in the playoff grid. Ashley Reynolds will come away with 8th. She was 29th in points. Nice run for her. Betty Johnson had a nice run, finishing in 9th. She's had a good couple of weeks so far in that 22 bunch. And Jerry Harvick, after a tough race, who is dead last in points, well-needed run, a 10th place is going to do the work for that Interstate Batteries team. Look on down through the remainder of the finishing results. Ignore Luigi Cadet because all 40 cars finished the race on the lead lap. But a couple of people really going to take some hits. Annie Thomas, third in the points, 35th. Courtney Lynn, 31st. But the good news for the both of them, they were inside the top 10 in the points. Lynn will definitely fall out of the top 10 in the points leaving tonight's race, so she'll look to bounce back next week. But she does have a nice cushion along with Annie Thomas between themselves in that critical 30th position in the points. So that is going to do it from here at South Boston. Congratulations to Cody Smart on his first win of the year, but has he unofficially locked himself a spot in the playoffs, providing he can remain in the top 30 in points? We'll have to wait and see. But thank you all for joining me for tonight's race at South Boston. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCSRA crew today. We've shown your full finish results. Your points are down in the description heading into next week at Darlington. We'll have Trucks, Busch, and Cup coming your way from the Darlington Raceway. Hope you'll join us for that. Until then, I've been Dieterville signing off. Good night from South Boston. As you've been watching yet another broadcast of PCSRA TV, where champions are made since 2010 and the best in the racing around the world since 2017.